Not a problem, Chris. I'll be sure that everybody that was on the list gets this. I expect this to take about an hour. There's going to be a ton of good information, but I understand it's the middle of a workday, and so that's why I'm going to record it and send it out to you guys here in a little bit. So no sweat, but please hang around as long as you can. I'll be happy to answer any questions. All right. Can you guys see me? Let me know in the chat. Just give me a 1 or something just so you can. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Amanda. How do I sound, guys? Everything sound good? Excellent. All right, I finally got the live figured out. And then let's see, can you guys see my screen now? Hey Thad, hey Kim, welcome guys. Matt, thanks for joining. For those of you guys that don't know me, I'm Morgan Franklin, and I am a real estate agent, and I'm going to be leading this this webinar on how to grow your real estate business with Facebook ads. And honestly, this applies to any small business, no matter whether you're a real estate agent, you own a florist shop, you own a service business, you own a product business, it doesn't matter what it is. These principles can be applied to just about any business, but I want to hone in on some techniques that are specific to real estate. And because, you know, real estate is my business, and this is how I've found success in real estate was through Facebook advertising. And so that is what we're going to talk about. I'm really, really excited about it. This is something that I have been working on. It's been a recurring calendar reminder on my calendar on Saturday at 10 a.m. for at least the last 18 months. And so I finally had a chance to sit down and put all this together, and I'm really, really excited about it. I think that you guys are going to get a ton of value from it. You know, it's something that I think everybody, regardless of business, could take some value from. So, you know, really excited you guys are here. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them into the webinar chat. I'm going to put all you guys on mute just so that way we won't have any interruptions, but please don't hesitate to let me know what questions you have. Let's go here. As we're waiting for everybody to get in, we'll give them another couple minutes. Again, my name is Morgan Franklin. I'm going to be teaching this webinar today, and I think we're having a good time. I really, really do. This is something that I worked really, really hard on, and you know, we're going to talk about how you guys can grow your business with Facebook ads and a couple of tips, tricks, and strategies. They're going to be huge and help you grow your business by at least $1 million over the next year. You know, I am unbelievably confident in it, and the best part is it's so easy. It's so absolutely easy. Now the one thing is, I'm out of soda water, which you know, if you know me, that is a serious problem. I have a LaCroix addiction. Hey, Matt, just saw you raise your hand. Any questions? Anything I can help you with, man? Before we jump into this? All right, guys, 2 o'clock. Welcome, Maggie. Thank you so much for joining. So guys, it is 2 o'clock on the nose, and I'm super punctual, so let's jump into it. Let's see here. Minimize this so I can see my own screen. All right, guys. So as I mentioned already, my name is Morgan Franklin. I am a real estate agent in Lexington, Kentucky. And in today's webinar, I am going to teach you guys all about Facebook ads and how to grow your real estate business. You know, by the end of this webinar, I want you guys to be armed with all the simple tricks and hacks that I have used to grow my real estate business. And while I've experienced explosive growth, I can guarantee you that by the end of this webinar, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to grow your real estate business by $1 million over the next 12 months. It's very, very easy, and I'm going to explain, how Facebook ads work, and some simple tips and tricks that are going to allow you to grow your brand and build your business and be super successful as you go into next year. Something that's going on right now is, much like in the 1950s and 60s, radio was just destroyed by television. It was a much more engaging medium, a better platform, and we are experiencing the exact same thing today. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, which used to be Musical.ly, you've got all these different platforms. And how many of you, give me a 1 in the messenger or just raise your hand, how many of you actually watch TV, but while you're watching TV, you're just sitting there actually playing on your phone? Right, Amanda? You'll end up playing on your phone, playing on Facebook, playing on Instagram instead of actually watching television. And so much like radio was killed 20, 30 years ago, I think that social media is killing television. And so when we look at our ad spend and where we want to focus our efforts, I think that, social media is where you 100% need to be. People's attention is on social media. Nobody actually watches television. I think television commercials are the biggest waste of money because nobody even watches them. Hell, they can't even stay focused long enough to watch the television show. So you guys understand that Facebook ads are super important. And if you guys stay to the very end of this and you learn all these tips and tricks, if you stay to the very end, I have got a PDF for you that I'm going to send to you that gives you step-by-step instructions with screenshots, all the details you need to know to understand how to make a Facebook retarget audience. And this is probably the #1 key to growing your brand on Facebook and having success. When I discovered this trick, this is what took my real estate business and grew it 14 times. So it was under 2 million, it was like 1.7 million. And this year I'm going to do over 15 million. And here in a second, I'm going to show you a graph that shows exactly the second that I started implementing retargets along with my Facebook ads. And that is what has led to success. Let's see, back in 2014, this was me. I was working in corporate America. I was sitting in a cubicle, and it was the most depressing thing on the face of the earth. I was not making a ton of money. My wife was working, I was working, and something that was really important to me, she was pregnant. I had my first child on the way, and being able to allow my wife to stay home and be with the kids, because that's something that she wanted. And at the job I had, there was no way I was going to make enough money to afford that. And I felt like a loser. My self-worth wasn't there. I just didn't feel like I was a success in life. And so I sat down and I said, what can I do to change this? And so I started looking at different side jobs. And a friend of mine who was in real estate asked me to come take some photographs of a listing for him. And after taking those photos, because my background was in photography, my wife's a wedding photographer. She's the one that got me into it. And so I went and took those photos, and about 24 hours later, he sold the house. He made a $7,500 commission. I made a $150 check for taking some photos. And I thought to myself, wait a second, I need to start selling real estate. And so, I understand what it's like to be sitting in the cubicle and to, be frustrated. And so through advertising on Facebook, I was able to grow a brand and compete with top producers very, very, very quickly. So this is the graph I was talking about. So you can see right here in 2014, I sold less than $1 million. 2015, it was like 1.5 million. And then at the end of 2015, the start of 2016 is when I got serious about Facebook ads. I got a bunch of books, one by Gary Vaynerchuk called Crush It, another one called The Conversion Code by the guy that runs Curator, which is a real estate website brand company that does the whole IDX and funnels for you. And just started reading every piece of content I possibly could and became an expert in Facebook ads. And right here at this inflection point in 2015 is when my business started to take off. And it was 100% due to Facebook ads and content that I was publishing on Facebook, because I never once have paid Zillow for a lead. I've never paid Realtor.com. I've never paid Trulia. I've never done print advertising. I've never done a billboard. I've never done television advertising. This has all been 100% done through Facebook and a little bit of Instagram ads. I'm starting to get over there a little bit right now. But from 2016, 17, and 18, where I'm going to end up selling a little bit over $15 million worth of real estate this year, that brand has grown 100% through Facebook ads. And so this is, I know that it works, and it's a snowball. So, getting started, it works a little bit at first, and then as you start, you continue to do it, and you continue to ingrain in people's minds that you're the number one real estate agent in your local market. You're an expert. You know what you're talking about. You start to build a brand, and no one else, your audience could never think of working with anybody else but you. And these are the tips and tricks that I'm going to jump into here in just a minute. And the thing is, as Mr. T and I can tell you, I can 100% guarantee that you can do this. I do a lot of coaching with a brokerage in Louisville, Kentucky, and there is a young man there who was he was a bartender, and he was struggling. He wanted to buy a house, to find success in his life. And we worked together for about 6 months, and he started making videos, and he started, publishing a bunch of Facebook ads and growing his brand. And as of July this year, and so in like 6 or 7 quick months, he was able to go from a full-time bartender and a part-time real estate agent to a full-time real estate agent. I think he's going to close a little over $5 million this year. He just bought his own house. I think he's going to get engaged to his girlfriend here pretty soon. Shh. Don't let him know. Hopefully, I don't think she'll watch this. But I am confident and 100%, sure that you guys can find the exact same success by, executing Facebook ads and building a brand strategy, just the exact same way I did. And so I'm going to jump into 4 secrets about Facebook ads. So the first one, Facebook ads are surprisingly easy. So a lot of people, when I talk to them about Facebook ads, they think that it's going to be unbelievably difficult. And nothing could be farther from the truth, because once you actually understand how they work, and after you go through your first 1 or 2, I can sit down and I can make a Facebook ad in 2 to 3 minutes, whereas the first couple times it took an hour, and they were an absolute disaster because I was teaching myself all on my own, and I had no idea what was going on. Once you have a guide helping you and you have an understanding of what's going on, it's as simple as paint by numbers. As you see my little fish here, you can very, very easily fill it in. And once you have a template and all these PDFs that I'm going to share with you, you just follow the instructions, you figure out what your targeting needs to be, you figure out what your ad spend needs to be, and then it's as simple as just hitting the publish button. And the trick to it is just being consistent. So let's see, I'm going to show you guys. Can you guys see that PDF? Are you still on my other screen? Give me a 1 or a yes if you guys can see it. Thank you, ma'am. All right. So it's as simple as this. And so this is something I'm going to share with you guys inside the course. So we walk through step by step, exactly where you need to click, how you create the ad, every single step of the way. And so it's really as simple as painting by number. you pick your placements, you figure out what kind of content you're going to run. We're going to set a budget, and I'm going to give you every single step of this process all the way until you hit confirm. And it really is as easy as painting by numbers. And so I promise Facebook ads are super simple. They're very, very easy. And so, that's the first secret, is you don't be intimidated by it, because like the first time I logged into the Facebook ads dashboard, I almost lost my mind because there is just so much going on. And we're going to jump into the dashboard and kind of show you how to make a retarget audience here in a little bit. And so it's unbelievably overwhelming and confusing, but with these PDFs and these step-by-steps, it's super easy, and I promise anybody can do it. Secret number 2, no more cold calls. There's nothing worse. So I love Gary Keller. He's built an amazing business, but the millionaire real estate agent is 20 years old or 25 years old, and the book just does not apply to the world today. If somebody calls me on the phone, I'm like, what in the world are you doing? You can send me a text like a decent human being, or you can email me. But if you're going to call me, it better be super important. And if you're trying to sell me something, I hope you die. And so, cold calls, they do work, but it's only a 1 or 2% conversion ratio. Like awesome conversion is 5%. It's super time consuming, and it just sucks. It's terrible. I mean, I've done it, I tried it, and it was just the most awful experience in the world. And another thing is, when you're making cold calls, you're automatically at a lower power position than your client, because they don't know who you are. They don't know, like, and trust you, and they really don't care. And so the entire time you're fighting this huge uphill battle. And so with Facebook ads, we're going to create brand versus generating leads. And so the old school thought of, real estate advertising and real estate lead gen is, I'm going to create this name, email, and phone number, and then I am going to call this person, beat them into submission, get them to come over, try and build some rapport and get them to like me. Or I can spend 3 to 6 months building brand and educating people about what I do and convincing them that I'm an absolute expert, so that when it comes time for my services, I'm the only one they can think of calling. And so I've got this picture of Kleenex, because Kleenex cost about 4 times more than generic facial tissue. They're the exact same damn thing, but this one says Kleenex on the box, and they have spent a mountain of money convincing you that Kleenex is the #1 brand. And so because of that, you're willing to pay more for it. And so, as you think about generating your own business, don't think about people as leads. Think about, your audience as people that you can help, and solidifying your brand as the absolute expert in your local market, not only in how to find a house, but how to handle an inspection, how to look at an appraisal, every single facet. As you educate your audience by creating a piece of content and then using Facebook ads to amplify it, you're going to be able to grow your brand. And as you do that, when you jump into retargets, which we're going to get into in a minute, and that is that's the #1 hack of this whole presentation is, once somebody gets in and engages with your content, you can then retarget them. And that's where the magic really starts to happen. And that's where that brand really starts to explode. And so as you create this brand, you become an expert. Your clients are going to call you instead of you having to call those internet leads. I used to, in 2016, I generated all kinds of name, email, and phone number. I was calling every single one of them, and I was converting like 5 or 6% of them. But I found that those people were difficult to deal with. They didn't really have a whole lot of trust in me. But when people had been following my page and my brand for 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, that's when they had all the trust in the world in me. And those are the people that call you. There's nothing better than when a client calls you out of the blue or sends you that Facebook message or that Instagram message and said, hey, I'm thinking about buying a house, or I'm thinking about selling this house and buying a new one. I've got a baby on the way, and I've got all these great life events. And you're the person that I'm going to trust to help me get through this process. And the way you do that is by constantly communicating the message that, hey, I am an absolute expert. So the clients are going to call you, and they're going to be loyal. I can't tell you how many times, especially like the first 2 years in real estate, I was working with a client, I go show them property, and then the rat bastards would go and they'd make an offer at an open house with the listing agent, or another agent would steal them away from me. or I'd be busy, and then they would just call the listing agent of the property, and then they go see it with them and then make an offer. And so as you start to build that brand, your clients become loyal because they trust you. And the more they trust you, the easier it's going to be in negotiating the price and negotiating repairs and, accepting your advice when it comes time to price a home on a listing. You're also going to have a much easier time. People aren't going to ask for discounts because they are afraid that you won't work with them. And once they see the value in what you do, it just makes for such a better and easier job as a real estate agent, because when I first started, everybody wanted me to work for 1%. They wanted me to, bend over backwards. They wanted me to miss time with my family. And now, through building a brand, when people call you, they really, really, really want to work with you. And so you have the power in that relationship to say, I'm sorry, that's my family time. I don't have time. I'm not going to sacrifice my family time to work with you. If you want to work with me, we're going to have to do it at a different time. And people are more willing to accept that, and they're more loyal. And so as we create this brand and we use Facebook ads to do that, I promise your life and your work experience is going to be so much easier. Secret number 3 is Facebook ads are stupid cheap. Every time I see a real estate agent who puts a billboard out, I just laugh to myself because it is the most arrogant, just self-fulfilling thing on the face of the earth. It's just so you can drive around that interstate and just, there I am, there's my pretty face up on a billboard. But in no way, shape, or form is that going to lead to business. I've talked to other real estate agents who have used billboards. They feel cool and people call them say, hey, I saw your billboard, but it doesn't lead to business, and it's stupid expensive and it's ineffective. Same thing with print. And you see Albert Einstein down there, and I doubt you guys would be advertising in Discover, but there's a lot of local magazines in my market, and it's like $1,600 to $2,000 a month, and you have to sign up for like a 3 or 4 month commitment for a full page ad. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to show you guys later. I haven't even spent $7,000 on Facebook ads this year to reach $16 million or $15.5 million of sales this year. And I spent less than one print commitment. And the same thing with TV. TV is 2 to 3 times more expensive per view than a Facebook video. And the thing about Facebook ads is you can stop whenever you want, whereas with TV, you have to, commit to 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. I've talked to a couple different news stations about running some ads. And it's this huge commitment. I mean, you got to spend $5,000 or $10,000 to pony up, and then you're still on at weird times. And the cost per view is still wildly expensive compared to Facebook and Instagram and other social platforms. And so here's some numbers. So my average cost per view is actually like 0.01668 cents. Most people are going to average around 2 cents for a video view when you're paying for that ad. Same thing on average cost per engagement when you're trying to just get people to engage with an ad. It's going to cost you about a penny, maybe a penny and a half. But the big thing is, if you have a shit advertisement and it just does terribly, you can just turn it off. You can say, no, I'm done here. I don't want to waste any more money. The cost per engagement, the cost per view, the cost per lead, the cost per click, whatever that metric is that you're trying to achieve, you can just say no. But whereas with a postcard, postcards are stupid expensive. And who in the hell actually looks at it? Nobody really pays attention to their mail. At least I don't. The only time I pay attention to something is if it's a check or it looks like a check or the bill that I'm going to ignore because they're going to email it to me anyway. And so postcards, yeah, I realize you might get 1 or 2% conversion on them, but they're stupid expensive. I mean, you're looking at 65 cents for somebody to look at a 4x6 piece of paper versus getting to engage with a video with multimedia and sound and seeing me, smiling and talking to them and engaging with them on Facebook and be able to develop a conversation. I can even invite them in to have a messenger conversation, which is something I did jump into in my full Facebook ads course, where you can, show somebody an ad and then they can send a message and engage with you directly. And you can go ahead and open that conversation right there. So postcards are unbelievably expensive, as I talked about. Local TV is somewhere around 3 cents to 5 cents a view. It varies by market, and if you want to advertise at 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning, that's obviously going to be cheaper than prime time on a Thursday or Friday night. But the big thing is when you want to send a postcard, you can't just send one postcard. You can't just advertise once or to 1,000 people. You have to pony up a ton of money, and you have no idea if it's going to work. And so Facebook ads, relative to any other medium, are wildly inexpensive, even though, when I first started doing Facebook ads, I could get 3 to 4 views for a penny, and now I'm averaging, like I mentioned, 1.6678% or 1.667 cents per view. And so it's gotten 5 times more expensive since 2015 when I really got into it, but it's still unbelievably underpriced relative to other options you have in the market. So Facebook ads are unbelievably cheap and super, super effective. Now, this is the highlight of the entire webinar. The Facebook retarget is secret number 4, and this is where the magic happens. The retarget is where we can re-engage people that have, engaged with our brand somewhere on Facebook, whether engaging with content or they have clicked out to our website and they've engaged with a website that we have a pixel installed on. And so, those fine folks over at Amazon are phenomenal at this. So how many of you have gone to Amazon, clicked on something, you were shopping for something like this wonderful JBL speaker, and then you flip over to Facebook, you flip over to Instagram, and then all of a sudden they've put it in your feed? This is retargeting. And so when you look at TV advertising, you'll see a commercial, 10, 20, 30 times because they realize that it takes, repetition to build memory. And so you really need to show people your face, your brand, your content, repeatedly to get them to remember you. I've been talking nonstop for 22 minutes. Needed to wet the whistle. And so, the retarget is unbelievably powerful because unlike TV where we don't know who's seen it and who hasn't, we just know that if we keep showing an ad over and over again, that people will see it again and again. But with Facebook, when we take our first ad and we make our first ad and, half of the people that we put it out to, which is called reach, don't engage with it, then we can ignore those people in the retarget. And then on the second round, when we create a retarget advertisement, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this in just a minute. When you create that retarget audience, these folks have already shown interest in your brand, your content. They've either watched a piece of your content, they clicked out to your website, they've liked it, they've commented, they've engaged with you on Messenger. They've shown interest in your brand, and they are ready to see more of your content. And once you get somebody into a retarget group, they're more likely to do business with you. They're more likely to click over to a website. They're more likely to send you a message. They're more likely to call you because you showed them one piece of content, they engage with it somehow, and then you showed them a second piece of content that they engaged with, and then you showed them a third piece and a fourth piece and a fifth piece and a sixth piece, and as long as they continue to engage, they're going to stay in that retarget audience, and that is how you can grow your brand unbelievably effectively. Like I mentioned, I haven't even spent $7,000 this year to sell $15.5 million worth of real estate, and it was less than $6,000. So let's do the math. So 16, well, it was like 54 transactions. So 54, so $6,500 divided by, we'll just call it 55 transactions. That's $118 a transaction in ad spend to get people to pay attention to me. And the reason I can do that is because I've got a retarget audience of about 25 to 30,000 people. So now that I've convinced you guys the value of Facebook ads and told you about all these secrets about Facebook ads, we're going to jump into the Facebook Ads Manager dashboard so I can show you guys exactly how to build a retarget audience. That's my personal phase. No. Here we go. All right, guys. So far this year, I've only spent $6,819.44. So right about $120 per conversion or per real estate transaction. And so we're going to jump into, I'm going to show you guys how to make a retarget audience. And before we do that, this is my #1 video retarget audience. And so let's see, it was updated today. So I've got 25,000 people in that audience, and those are people that have engaged with my content over the last, here, let's take a look at it. I'll show you exactly what it looks like. So it's anybody that's watched all of these episodes, let's see, 42, 43, 44, 45, 45 videos that I've published in the last 365 days. And so most of these videos are really from the last 60 to 90 days. And so this is my bread and butter. This is where I, get the highest ROI on my ad dollar spend, is when I show a new piece of content to people that have watched these videos. So let's look at exactly how to do it. So I'm just going to do it for ad views. Sorry, I'm cleaning up the chat so I can see what I'm doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a campaign for video views. And so one tip here is whenever you're making Facebook ads and Facebook campaigns, you always want to make sure you name these things so that when you get over into the dashboard, you actually know what this is. So I'm going to call this retarget audience for webinar delete. So we're going to continue, and then we'll get over to this audience, and I'm going to rename this ad name set delete webinar. All right, now we're going to talk about how to make the audience. See over here, we're in the audience section. And so I want to create new, I can use the saved audience if it's something I've already created. I can create a custom audience, and I want to create a brand new custom audience. So I'm going to create new custom audience. And then I want to create an audience based on engagement. There's all these other opportunities. Like if you've got an email list, you can create a list of people that use that email to sign up for Facebook. You can look for people who have used website traffic by putting a pixel on your website, which is actually super easy to do. And that's something I show you how to do in the full course. And you can also jump over into the private Facebook group. I'd be more than happy to kind of jump into that with you because it's very specific to which website platform, but just throw it in your header PHP. App activity, I doubt any of you have an app that you're going to be using. Offline activity is something like you've collected information, you can upload it. But what we're going to do, and what is by far the easiest because you don't have to worry about an outside website, is people who have engaged with your content on Facebook, and this is what I use every single time I make a video and our new piece of content on Facebook. So we want to create the audience based on video, and so you can create it based on lead form, full screen experience, Facebook page, Instagram business profile, or an event. Anybody that's engaged with any of that stuff. But I am going to create this based on video. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in and you can do as little as 3 seconds, but people who have watched 3 seconds of your video are really not engaged with your brand, and they really don't care. They don't know who you are. And honestly, I think it's a waste of money. So when you do this, you're going to have a bigger audience, and your cost per view, your cost per action on your retarget audience is going to be lower. But what we're concerned with is the quality of that interaction. So what we really want to do is at minimum 10 seconds, and the higher you go into the video view, the more quality your engagement is going to be on the retarget. Now I'll tell you, less than 2% of all people watch 95% of my videos. My drop-off point, the average person is like 11 seconds, and I really start to drop off somewhere around the 20 to 30 second mark, because that's usually in my content where I get out of all the cool, sexy catch, hook stuff at the beginning and kind of get into the meat of the video, and that's when people kind of lose their interest. So I usually like to go 10 seconds or 25% of the video, and that's something you're going to decide for yourself. If you've got a super short video, I would go for 25 or 50%. Somebody is calling me from San Francisco, probably a telemarketer. You want to look for people who have watched, as the video gets shorter, you want your watch percentage to go up. If you've got a 4 or 5 minute video, we obviously, we want it to be much smaller because of the fall off, and you can jump into your Facebook analytics and kind of make that decision, but minimum 10 seconds. And so now I'm going to choose videos, and I'm going to jump into the appropriate brand. As you can tell, I have lots and lots and lots of experiments in Facebook advertising. You can tell by all those pages. And so all you have to do is just jump in here and select all the videos that you want to select. And so anybody that has engaged with that content, I am now putting them into this retarget audience. So I can say the next piece of content I make, anybody that's watched 10 seconds of any of these videos are people that I want to show my next piece of content to. Have I made that painfully clear? Can you guys give me a yes or just hit a 1 in the chat box, just so I know that you guys understand what a retarget is? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. And guys, welcome to everybody else that joined up since the beginning. And so now that you know what a retarget is, and now I'm showing you guys how to make it. So, and you can jump in and you can go all the way back to the beginning of time with your videos, but I really like to keep it within videos within like the last 6 months, because the more recent, you know, that engagement is, the more top of mind they're going to be with you. And so you could take this and, you know, we could just call it 90 days, 120 days. And then you're going to name it. I'm going to call this webinar delete. And then we're going to create that audience. And so, you know, it's super simple to do. The trick is you need to have created content to be able to retarget. And, you know, as I mentioned before, it doesn't have to be video views. You could do it based on engagement with a post. You could do it based on people going to your website and using a pixel. And these are all things in the full Facebook ads course that I jump into in excruciating detail and go page by page and show you exactly how to do. But, you know, video views are by far the easiest because you don't have to do anything else. You just post a video, people watch it, and if they watch it, then you can put them into a retarget. And the best part is everybody has got a video camera with them 99.9% of the time that's got an awesome HD camera, and you can make some really, really, really good video. You guys can make these retarget audiences based on all kinds of different, trying to get all the crap off my screen. There we go. And we're going to cancel out of this. So this is my main retarget that I use in my personal real estate business. As you guys can see, it sits around 25,000 people, and I like to keep it between 25, 35, but really no more than 40,000 people. And I found that if I consistently show 2 to 3 pieces of content to this audience, I get a new sale for about every 12,000 views that I get, or about every 3 to 4 videos. You know, you can achieve those views by spending more money and getting a higher view count per video, or you could, you know, just continually put out more and more content. For me, I find that, you know, 2 to 3 pieces of content a week at $20 to $50 a piece. And then, like, I've had a couple that have done phenomenally well that, you know, those videos, you know, that do 10 or 15,000 views, you know, and they're rare. The thing is, you can never determine, you never know what's actually going to work and what's not. But what you can do is say, I put $20, $30 behind this video. I know I'm going to get 2 cent views. I'm going to get 1,500 to 2,000 views, and just keep cranking it out. So every 6 videos, you know, you're probably going to end up getting a deal. And it goes back to that snowball effect of the first time you make a video, nobody's going to know who you are. The first time you publish a piece of content, or the first time you put out that Facebook ad, nobody's going to know who in the world you are. But as you continue to do it and you continue to show people your brand through the retarget, it's going to, you know, grow your brand, and they're going to start to think of you as the Kleenex of real estate agents. You're going to become the Coca-Cola. You're going to become the Toyota. You're going to become the Ford. You're going to be the one person that they want to work with, and they couldn't imagine working with anybody else once they do. So do you guys understand how to create that lookalike audience? If you have any questions, put it over in the chat box. Otherwise, I am going to keep on moving. So, you know, I have been talking about this for about 35 minutes now. I've kind of jumped into why Facebook ads are important. You know, would you guys be interested in continuing this conversation? Give me a 1 or a yes in the chat if you guys want to keep going. Cool. Thanks, Alina. Thanks, Kim. So if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to jump in and show you guys what is inside of this Facebook ads course. So in addition to all this retarget stuff, I'm going to give you all the details. And I just kind of want to jump over and go through all of the lectures, the course, and kind of like what you guys can expect from, the full real estate or Facebook real estate ads course. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give you guys an overview. We're going to go through the entire course, and then I'm really going to dive into leads versus brand, which is something that we talked about earlier today. There is a lead function in Facebook, and I'm going to show you how to use it in the course. But I think that Facebook is a much better tool as a brand building tool. And, the best part is, once you've built a brand, if you stop spending money on Facebook ads, it's the gift that keeps on giving. People are going to continue to call because they're not going to forget about you overnight. Whereas if you stop spending money on Zillow, those leads stop the second you stop spending money. We're also going to talk about your creative versus your quantitative. So quantitative is everything that I'm going to just give to you on a silver platter in all these PDFs and these course videos that tell you exactly what numbers you need to fill into your Facebook ad, what kind of Facebook ads you need to use. And then the creative is what kind of content works. And I've got a whole section on how the creative works. And with Facebook, if your creative and your quantitative both aren't good, it's going to be an absolute failure. You could have the best video on the face of the earth, but if you don't have the right ad structure and the right retarget and the right demographics wrapped around your ad, it is going to fail miserably. And at the same time, if you took a picture with your cell phone, like a listing picture with a cell phone that looks like you should be, a terrorist in a cave making a ransom demand, and then you try and take that crappy creative and match it with the absolute most perfect ad on the face of the earth, it's still going to be a failure. And so we talk about the marriage of those two and how they have to absolutely be awesome and in harmony to have a successful Facebook ad. Then we're going to jump into campaigns. And so literally we just go from left or top to bottom over here. We're going to go through objectives, audience placement, budget, and schedule. And I'm going to jump into all the specifics and how, what little, caveats there are and what you guys need to pay attention to and how to do it. And then we get into the ad, and this is where the creative is. So this is the quantitative up here. And this is where we nail the creative, what website or what page we're going to do it from, what kind of format it's going to have, what's going to be a video or a photo, what kind of photos convert, what kind of videos convert, something I call it the hook, and it's that first piece of text in your ad and how to create a hook that really captures attention. And so we're going to talk about all the different kinds of campaigns. We're going to jump into ad sets. We're going to get into your ad creative. And then this is by far the most important part of the entire course is the audience mastery. And this is what we talked about today. We hit on retargeting briefly today, and this is the most important part of the Facebook ads course because this is what really sets it apart from other traditional media sources, aside from the fact that it's cheaper, but we can laser target down to people who actually are more likely to engage with us. Like if we look at print advertising or we look at a billboard, we don't know who in the hell's driving past that billboard. We don't really know what the circulation of a magazine is, but with Facebook, I can make an ad targeted to people that drive Ford F-150s. It's unbelievable the specificity you're able to have when you create your audience. And so we're going to talk about what makes a good audience, size, structure. We're going to talk about fair housing and compliance issues. I've also got a trick about how you can, so after Cambridge Analytica earlier this year, Facebook went crazy and stripped out all of the third-party ad categories. And in addition to that, they also said it's no longer okay to advertise to income based on real estate. And so even though that's not a fair housing protected class, Facebook says you can't do it. And so I've got an awesome hack about how you can create a retarget audience to get around that and still use income to focus. Because let's face it, you don't want to advertise a $500,000 house to somebody that makes $30,000 a year. That's just a waste of your money. You're not being discriminatory. It's just called good business. And so we're going to talk about retargeting in depth, and I've got a PDF that's part of this course that goes into it. We're going to talk about lookalike audiences. which is once you have a group of folks that do business with you or people who have completed a form on your website, especially if you've got like an IDX website, people come through and they give your name, email, and phone number. We can then take that email list, upload it into Facebook, and then we can create an audience of people that are very similar to them. And so once we have this group of people that like us, we can find more people that like us. So this audience part is huge and unbelievably powerful. Then we're going to jump into a pixel and talk about how you can where you can find that pixel, take it, upload it to your header PHP. And this is how, if you've got an IDX website, whether it be Real Geeks, Conversion, Curator, whatever it is, we're going to talk about how you can put that pixel into your website. And that's going to allow you to even further grow your retarget audience to people not only that engage with your content, which is super easy, which is what I taught you how to do today, but you'll also be able to retarget to people that interact with you outside of Facebook. And it's just going to strengthen that retarget audience that you have. Then we're going to jump into creative content for a good ad, and I'm just going to give this away real quick. This is my #1 secret to Facebook ad creative is Instagram, Facebook. Everybody goes north-south, right? So we're going north-south, north-south, north-south. When you open a piece of content, especially video, you need to move people from left to right or right to left because they're used to going north-south and having static images. And so if you open up with a pan or a tilt or, that movement, and that's something I really get into in my iPhone video course, which is separate from this, but we talk about how to capture people's attention with the creative. And so the more effective we are at capturing their attention and getting them to 10 seconds, the lower our cost per view is. And so it's unbelievably effective when you understand what makes good content and what doesn't. And I'm going to jump into that. I'm going to give you all the secrets to making good creative, what kind of photos work. And then also we're going to talk about your CTA, which is your call to action. Man, I thought I turned that off. Very sorry about that, guys. Got another phone call. So we're going to talk about your call to action. Your call to action is what you want your audience to do. And so when we're online, we just can't assume that we're going to put a learn more button down there and people are just going to know to click it. What do I want my audience to do? Hey guys, click learn more to go see the full listing details. Please comment below whether or not you like this kitchen. You have to tell your audience something to do. You have to give them specific instructions because you just have to assume that your audience is, ignorant to what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And so if you don't tell them and give them a proper call to action, it's not going to happen. And so I dive into how to create those call to actions and how to create urgency with your audience. And then I've got a ton of PDFs, objective, common troubleshooting errors, like why there's so many times like I've wanted to bash my head against my desk because I couldn't figure out what was going on. And so I've got this PDF that goes over all the common mistakes most people make in Facebook ads. And, the most frequent one is your dates are off or your date started in the past and your ad gets denied. And then we also talk about some fair housing stuff and how you can self-attest and make sure that your real estate ads are getting shown. We're going to talk about how to create lead gen ads. And this is a step-by-step, click-by-click. Even though I favor building brand, I still generate leads so I can get people into my email distribution so I can continue to grow that email list and so I can continue sending them content outside of retarget. And so I'll talk about how to do lead gen ads. We're going to talk about how to do traffic ads, video view ads. We're going to talk about the difference between professional photos and agent taken photos. And then I'm also, this is one of the biggest sections of the course at 13 minutes is how to understand the Facebook ads dashboard. So if we go back and back, yeah, right there. So we're going to jump into how do you read this? How do you make sense of it all? Everything that you guys need to know about how to make a proper Facebook ad and what it is that's going to make it awesome for you. And so that's the Facebook ads course. And so, since you guys have watched today, I'm going to send you this retarget audience PDF today. It's a $49 value because you guys made it to the end of this awesome presentation, and I appreciate your time and attention. I am going to send you this. If you guys just put your email in the chat box, or if you don't feel comfortable sharing your email there, you can email me at cleverrealestateagent@gmail.com or morgan@atlastrustrealestate.com with your email, and I will be sure to send you this PDF. That's a $49 value. I'm just going to give it to you for free because you're beautiful, wonderful people, and I appreciate you coming. Also, today and today only, I'm running a special between now and Sunday. If you guys sign up for my Facebook Ads Mastery course, I'm also going to give you my iPhone video course absolutely for free. So normally this is a $99 value, and I know that Alina has taken this course. She's in the webinar right now, and I'm pretty sure, Alina, give me a thumbs up or a yes if you found a lot of value in that course. So that's a $99 value course. I'm going to give that to you for free because I think that the ability to create content, as I mentioned, is super important. You know, the ability to create creative that's good to match your awesome ad is super important. So I'm going to give you that for free. That's a $99 value. In addition, if you sign up today, I'm going to give you ad example PDFs, and these are ads. There's 3 ads that I use every single day, and it's normally I charge $100 for this, or $99, and it's something I am going to give to you if you sign up for the Facebook Ads Mastery course. And this is, you know, 3 ads that I use all the time that have been wildly successful for me. Then the big thing is, normally I charge $397 for this course, but because you are wonderful, beautiful people, and you came to this webinar and you paid attention the entire time, and I hope you got a ton of value from it, I am going to discount this. I'm going to send you a 50% off coupon for this course, which you're going to get almost $650 worth of educational materials that are going to help you grow your business for $198, which is 50% of the cost of the Facebook Ads 101 Mastery course. The kicker is it's going to expire this Sunday, and I'm going to send you guys the details. And so the big kicker is, not only is this a $650 value, but I 100% guarantee it, because this is the exact playbook that I used to grow my real estate business from under $2 million a year to over $15 million a year very, very quickly without spending money anywhere else, and a fraction of the money that I was spent on Zillow or Trulia or any other traditional outlet. And so if you guys complete this course and you don't increase your sales from 2017 to 2018 by $1 million, I will give you your $198 back, no questions asked. All you have to do is send me an email at cleverrealestateagent@gmail.com and just say, I want a refund. I'm not going to ask any questions, because I am so 100% confident that this stuff works and that you guys are extremely intelligent and you'll be able to execute all of this content that, you know, I have not a slightest doubt in my mind. And so, you know, I know that you guys aren't going to ask for it back. And I mean, come on, it's $200. You know, you're going to make that back on your first commission, let alone, you know, let's just assume 3% on $1 million. You're going to make $30,000 by taking this course, taking this time to invest in yourself and invest in your future. And so, you know, it's such a great value that I think you would be silly not to take advantage of it. And so, you know, the takeaways are, after you master this course, you're going to be on your way to an awesome real estate business where clients come to you. You don't have to cold call. Your business continues even if your advertising pauses. Unlike Zillow, where if I stop spending money with Zillow, the leads stop coming. But I've built this brand, and so even this year I got super busy with my with a client of mine building new construction, and I really neglected my marketing. But because of all the work I'd put in the 24 to 36 months beforehand, building that brand, the phone kept on ringing. And I was able to kind of take a little bit of a vacation and not have to constantly be on the gas pedal. And that's probably my favorite part about this. But ultimately, it just comes down to, as you build a brand, you're going to be happier in your job because your clients are going to want to do business with you and they're going to trust you. And it's unbelievable how much better it is when you know, you don't have to drop everything you're doing and go show a house because you're afraid a client's going to fire you. It has just made my life so much easier. And I've actually, by building brand, I've seen my average sale price go up year over year. And it's been, you know, so wonderful to actually enjoy my job, because there was a solid year where I absolutely despised it. And through building brand, I've been able to pick and choose who I work with and have a much more enjoyable experience. And so I hope you guys will sign up for the course. And on top of everything, I really, 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 really appreciate you guys coming. It means the world to me that you showed up and paid attention. And so if you guys have any questions, I'm going to hang around for a minute. You guys can, put any questions over in the chat box. TJ, do you have that discount code ready?
Yep.
Can you shoot it to me?
Which one? The one for
the 50% off with the 50% off the Facebook Ads Mastery course, please. Just text it to me.
Okay.
So if you guys hold on a second, I am going to get you this discount code that you can jump over, and I'll also send you the link to the course. So here's the link to the course, guys. Let's see, Alina, do you get the email and phone, or just an email address, and do you do it via lead ad objective? So Alina, I'm going to assume that you're talking about a lead ad, and so I always ask for a phone number, just because it gives me the opportunity to put them into a text. And so I use something called Twilio to send people automated texts, along with I can't think of the name of the service. I'll think of it later, but you can put people into an automatic text string, and you can do decision-based yes or no's. Did they respond? Did they do this? And you can funnel them in. So I always ask for a phone number, because if people are going to give you an answer, if they're going to give you their real name and their real email, they're going to give you their real is this a link to the 50% off course, or is it a code?
It's a link.
Oh, okay. Never mind, guys. Ignore that first one. Here is the link to the 50% off discount course. And so to finish that thought, Alina, if somebody's going to give me the real name and email, they're going to give me their real phone number, and that just gives me another opportunity to retarget them. And so another thing is, if you guys don't know this, a huge trick you can use when you are trying to find somebody on Facebook, if you've got their phone number, put their phone number into the Facebook search toolbar, and you can find them that way. And that's also part of a customer file where you can create a retarget audience, because a lot of people have more than one email address, but they usually only have one cell phone number. And so when you go to create a retarget audience based on a customer file, if the email doesn't match, which I only get about a 40% match rate usually, but phone numbers have a much higher percentage match rate. And so that's going to allow me to put them into that retarget. So I always ask for all three. And I'm going to hang around for a couple more minutes. If you guys have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. But I just posted the 50% off discount link to the Facebook Ads 101 course. And as soon as I see you guys sign up, I will send you a link to the Facebook video course as well. And so it seems like we don't have a whole lot more questions. We're coming up to the top of the hour. Guys, I can't tell you how much I really, really appreciate it. I hope you will jump into that full Facebook ads course. If you have any questions, you can email me. You can reach me there through that link. Or please don't hesitate. If you're not a member of the private Facebook group, go jump over there. It's called Clever Real Estate Agent. It's on Facebook. It's a private Facebook group. Jump in there. I post all the content I post to Facebook and Instagram. I post there along with all kind of information and insights as to why I did it, what I did. I answer questions that you guys have, as well as there's a lot of folks that are in that Facebook group that are posting some awesome videos and have some great content. It's a great place to come collaborate. I hope you guys will come join us. Again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you over in the course. Thanks so much for stopping by.